Hey space explorers, welcome back to Universal Info. Today, we're going to explore the incredible journeys of the 12 brave NASA astronauts who actually walked on the moon. Let's blast off. First up, the legend himself, Neil Armstrong. Neil made history on July 20th, 1969, during the Apollo 11 mission. He was the first human to set foot on the moon, famously saying, "That's one small step for man, one giant leap for mankind." Neil spent 2 hours and 15 minutes exploring the lunar surface. At number 2, right behind Neil, was Buzz Aldrin. Buzz joined Neil on the moon just minutes later. Buzz was also part of the Apollo 11 mission and spent 2 hours and 14 minutes walking on the moon. Buzz and Neil collected lunar samples and took some amazing photos. Next, at number 3, we have Pete Conrad, who was the commander of Apollo 12. On November 19th, 1969, Pete became the third person to walk on the moon. Known for his humor, Pete's first words on the moon were, "Whoopee." Man, that may have been a small one for Neil, but that's a long one for me. He spent a total of 7 hours and 45 minutes on the lunar surface. At number 4, walking alongside Pete, was Alan Bean, the lunar module pilot of Apollo 12. Alan spent 7 hours and 45 minutes on the moon too, where he helped set up scientific experiments and collected lunar rocks. February 5th, 1971, at number 5, we have Alan Shepard, the commander of Apollo 14. Alan is famous for being the first American in space, and also for hitting 2 golf balls on the moon. He spent 9 hours and 17 minutes exploring the lunar surface. Next up at number 6, we have Edgar Mitchell, Apollo 14's lunar module pilot. Edgar spent 9 hours and 17 minutes on the moon, conducting experiments and helping Shepard collect over 94 pounds of lunar material. At number 7, on July 31st, 1971, David Scott became the 7th person to walk on the moon during Apollo 15. David drove the first lunar rover, exploring the moon like never before, and spent 18 hours and 37 minutes on the surface. At number 8, the lunar module pilot of Apollo 15 joined David Scott on this epic adventure. James also spent 18 hours and 37 minutes on the moon, collecting samples from the Hadley Apennine region. At number 9, in April 1972, during Apollo 16, John Young became the 9th astronaut to walk on the moon. John was known for his enthusiasm and spent 20 hours and 14 minutes exploring the Descartes Highlands. At number 10th, walking alongside John Young, was Charles Duke, the lunar module pilot of Apollo 16. At 36, Charlie was the youngest person to walk on the moon and spent 20 hours and 15 minutes conducting experiments and gathering lunar samples. At number 11, we have Eugene Cernan, the commander of Apollo 17, who holds the title of the last man on the moon. Gene walked on the moon on December 11, 1972, and spent a record 22 hours and 6 minutes on the lunar surface. And last but not least, at number 12, Harrison Jack Schmitt, the lunar module pilot of Apollo 17. Jack was a geologist and the first scientist-astronaut to walk on the moon. He also spent 22 hours and 4 minutes exploring and collecting samples. And there you have it, space enthusiasts. 12 incredible astronauts, 6 amazing missions, and over 84 hours spent on the moon.
Hit the like button, subscribe, and share for more interesting videos.